Thinking about investing in a company guaranteeing you returns? Great decision. But before you commit your money, ask one important question. Is the company approved by Capital Markets Authority, CMA? CMA Uganda approves the offer to the public of investment options such as shares, bonds and unit trusts, and also market intermediaries such as brokers and investment advisors to ensure they follow the law, protect your money and act in your best interest. Don't fall prey to fraud. Avoid shortcuts. Visit the CMA website at www.cmauganda.co.ug to check if the investment product on offer is approved and if the market intermediary you're dealing with is regulated by the CMA. Your peace of mind starts with a simple check. Capital Markets Authority Uganda, protecting your investments. Are you in business looking to scale operations, expand across borders, or finance long-term growth? Uganda's capital markets offer an alternative to traditional financing by raising funds through the issuance of shares, corporate bonds, or commercial papers that can be sold either to public or a group of private investors. The Capital Markets Authority of Uganda provides the regulatory framework to support business in accessing long-term, affordable capital from the public. Our licensed intermediaries guide companies through the process of offering securities to either the public or privately, disclosure and compliance, ensuring investor confidence and market integrity. Whether you're a large enterprise or a growing SME, the capital markets are open to you. To learn more about how your business can raise capital through regulated channels, visit www.cmauganda.co.ug or call our offices today. Capital Markets Authority Uganda, protecting your investments. Did you know the Capital Markets Authority CMA is a statutory body responsible for regulating and developing Uganda's capital markets? CMA approves and licenses market players to ensure fairness, transparency, integrity and protection of your investments. Whether it's investing in shares, bonds or unit trust, invest with confidence in approved or licensed intermediaries by CMA. The Capital Markets Authority urges the public to always check the regulatory status of an entity before investing at www.cauganda.co.ug. Do not invest in unapproved products or entities. Capital Markets Authority Uganda, protecting your investments. Thinking about investing in a company guaranteeing you returns? Great decision. But before you commit your money, ask one important question. Is the company approved by Capital Markets Authority, CMA? CMA Uganda approves the offer to the public of investment options such as shares, bonds and unit trusts, and also market intermediaries such as brokers and investment advisors to ensure they follow the law, protect your money and act in your best interest. Don't fall prey to fraud. Avoid shortcuts. Visit the CMA website at www.cmauganda.co.ug to check if the investment product on offer is approved and if the market intermediary you're dealing with is regulated by the CMA. Your peace of mind starts with a simple check. Capital Markets Authority Uganda, protecting your investments. Are you in business looking to scale operations, expand across borders, or finance long-term growth? Uganda's capital markets offer an alternative to traditional financing by raising funds through the issuance of shares, corporate bonds, or commercial papers that can be sold either to public or a group of private investors. The Capital Markets Authority of Uganda provides the regulatory framework to support business in accessing long-term, affordable capital from the public. Our licensed intermediaries intermediaries guide companies through the process of offering securities to either the public or privately, disclosure and compliance, ensuring investor confidence and market integrity. Whether you are a large enterprise or a growing SME, the capital markets are open to you. To learn more about how your business, Capital Markets Authority Uganda, protecting your investments. Thinking about investing in a company guaranteeing you returns? Great decision. But before you commit your money, ask one important question. Is the company approved by Capital Markets Authority, CMA? CMA Uganda approves the offer to the public of investment options such as shares, bonds and unit trusts, and also market intermediaries such as brokers and investment advisors to ensure they follow the law, protect your money, and act in your best in Uganda's capital markets. CMA approves and licenses or entities. Capital Markets Authority Uganda, protecting your investments.
Check 1 2.
DJ, let's have some soft music. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm most reliably informed that the minister is here. Let's be up and standing. You're most welcome, Honorable Minister, to the launch of the strategic plan for the Capital Markets Authority. Since we're all standing, I would like us to follow the program. We will be having the East African anthem played. Let's have the Ugandan anthem first. Uganda.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu,
Thank you. May all be seated. We may now have our opening prayer, and I am going to ask one of our own, Miss Gloria Baega, to please come lead us in a word of prayer.
Good afternoon. Let's humble ourselves for a word of prayer. Oh Lord, our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for today. We want to thank you for this is the day you have made, and we'll rejoice and be glad in it. We want to thank you for how far you've brought our country, and for how far you've brought the capital markets, and in specific the Capital Markets Authority. Lord, even as we go into that day to deliberate on the launch of the strategic plan, Lord, we pray that your name will be glorified and that your will be done in the development of the country and the capital markets at large. Lord, we give you the glory and all the honor. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen.
Minister of State for Finance, Planning and National Guidance, in charge of general duties, the Assistant PSST, the Undersecretary from the Ministry of Finance, the Commissioner, Financial Services Department at the Ministry of Finance, the representative of the Governor, Bank of Uganda, the representative of the Attorney General, the board chairperson of the Capital Markets Authority, esteemed members of the Capital Markets Authority, the CEO of the Capital Markets Authority, heads of organizations from government and the private sector, development partners and stakeholders in the financial services sector, management and staff of the Capital Markets Authority, members of the Fourth Estate, those watching us live from your various locations on our YouTube channel, distinguished guests in your respective capacities, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, at least we had some tea, right? You're all most welcome to the launch of the strategic plan for the Capital Markets Authority. It is a 5-year strategic plan, and you being in this room is a testament to your unwavering support for all that you have done in the various implementation that we have carried out for the various plans. We welcome you warmly, and I also want to thank you for making the time to join us this afternoon. Can we please give ourselves a round of applause? Today, I will be your program coordinator. Otherwise, I have a permanent hat I wear here at the Capital Markets Authority. I am the manager in charge of communications and public relations at the Capital Markets Authority. I am very aware that we are about 40 minutes past time, so I will not waste any more of our precious time. We'll go straight into the program. And for those that maybe have missed it, we'll have remarks from our CEO, who will also give us a presentation of the strategic plan, remarks from our board chair, and also remarks from our guest of honor, who is the Minister of State of Finance and Planning and Economic Development. And then we shall unveil our strategic plan for 2025, 2026 to 2029, 2030. And then we'll have photo moments, some media interviews, lunch, and departure. If you agree with this program, please clap for it. Yes, at this juncture, please allow me call upon our Chief Executive Officer, Mrs. Josephine Okui-Osia, who will give us the opening remark. A round of applause for her.
Thank you, Lynn, and good afternoon, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure to see all of you here on this day as we launch this plan. And I also want to just reiterate Lynn's remarks that we are very grateful that you are able to make it here. So today, as we gather, for us, this marks a defining point for the capital markets, and indeed even for Uganda's future. Because we are not just launching a plan, but we are also committing ourselves to a course of action that will shape the future of this country and the future of this economy. So shortly, I'll present an overview of the strategic plan and what initiatives that we have there. But for us as capital markets, it's our resolve to deepen participation in the capital markets, to instill confidence, and to position our capital markets as a reliable source of long-term finance in Uganda and even internationally. So the success of this plan depends a lot on execution, how this is going to be executed, depends also a lot on innovation, but more so a unified effort among all stakeholders and across all government to ensure that we provide this avenue that is convenient, affordable for our private sector that is going to support the growth of this economy. So I'll then ask the IT team to flash the presentation. I'll take you through the presentation. I hope it won't take more than 30 minutes so that you just get an idea of what we intend to achieve. But each of you probably has a copy of the presentation, or even as you leave, you'll be able to take a copy with you. And one of the things we'd like to really emphasize is collaboration among key stakeholders. So even as you read that plan, just let us know if you see an area of collaboration that you can collaborate with us. Do not hesitate to reach out to us. IT, can we move to the next slide? So our theme for this year is really catalyzing and harnessing capital markets. I'm pointing that side, not here. Okay. So our theme is catalyzing and harnessing capital markets for sustainable growth. And I'll start with a quote from Peter Drucker, who says that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that's exactly what we are trying to do. We're trying to create a future for the capital markets of Uganda. The capital market, the strategic plan that we are going to do is largely linked to the NDP 4, the National Development Plan 4, that began in 1st July 2025. And as I mentioned, our focus is going to be on awareness, innovation, and efficiency. And the things that we are going to do even as a capital markets do link directly to what government is thinking about as well. So the NDP4 goal, to which we are going to support as capital markets, is to achieve higher household incomes, full monetization of the economy, and employment to sustainable socio-economic transformation. And specifically, the objective that we link to is to support the private sector to drive growth and create jobs, and increase, and our ultimate goal is to increase survival and transition of the private sector enterprises. Outcome that we are looking at, really, the end game is access to affordable finance. So the next slide then goes into the detail, the strategic outputs that we expect to achieve in terms of growth in capital markets, implement financial and literacy programs, integrate ESG in the financial sector, develop innovative products, and enhance digitization and adoption of technology within financial services, but specifically in the capital markets. So I'll then go on quickly to just do a snapshot of the performance of the last strategic plan that ran from 2021 to 22 to 2024-25. And if you notice, it's a 4-year horizon, but because we're trying to align to the period of the National Development Plan as well. So the previous plan was only for 4 years. So the first objective in the previous plan was to strengthen capital market regulation and oversight. And to that end, the board was able to approve the regulatory impact assessment for the review of the Capital Markets Act. And as well, a number of regulations were gazetted in 2022, 2024, as well as 2025. So in total, about 10 regulations were enacted in that period. Objective number 2 was around institutional excellence, and it focused mainly on the HR aspect of that. So a performance management system was put in place. We're able to fill 90% of the positions, and 80% of the learning and development plan was also implemented. And the third objective was increased stakeholder knowledge and awareness of capital markets. And through that, we expect that as the public gets aware and knows about capital markets, they will participate more. So the outcome we saw there was the domestic capitalization increased from about 4 trillion shillings to 14. 53 companies were matched under the deal flow facility, deal flow facility, and were able to raise $6.6 million. In terms of our investor outreach, we're able to reach 9.8 potential investors, and our total assets under management in the capital markets increased from 931 billion to 3.8 billion. So it's on the basis of that we're now going to continue the growth in the subsequent period. Looking at the financial performance, as for the last year, we were able to, we received 9.2 billion for the last financial year, and of that, we were able to absorb 8.99, so about a 98% absorption in that respect. So looking at strategic direction, our purpose statement, and really why does capital markets exist? So we exist to drive capital mobilization through innovation and inclusive strategies, and our mission is to foster a transparent, accessible, and efficient capital markets in Uganda. And our vision is to be an innovative, efficient, and trusted regulator of a regionally competitive capital markets. And this is hinged on a number of values. And for us, our acronym, the values is ITAP. I is for innovation. We are committed to continuously creating new ways of working and improving existing processes, but we are committed to encouraging innovation in the capital markets. Lynn, do we have active? Can you get that one? Because this seems to be breaking. T, if I continue, T is for teamwork. So we recognize that success depends on skilled, diverse, and coordinated team committed to. T is for teamwork, so we recognize that success depends on skilled, diverse, and coordinated team committed to trust and hard work. And then accountability and professionalism. We serve as stakeholders with through a high performance, minimal turnaround time, and excellent execution. And as I mentioned earlier, execution is going to be very key for the success of this strategic plan. So moving on to the strategic objectives for the next period. So we have 4 key strategic objectives. And the first one is to mobilize capital, which is our core mandate, to facilitate the flow of long-term capital into the market. The second one is to increase awareness, enhancing stakeholder understanding of the capital markets, because it's only when people understand capital markets that they'll be able to participate. Our third objective is to automate processes, implement automation for operational efficiency. We want to reduce the turnaround time, and we believe that with technology, turnaround time is going to greatly be improved. And then to strengthen the capacity of capital markets, to enhance the administrative and institutional capabilities. And again, that also will still speak to automating, as well as developing the staff, skilling them, and ensuring that they can deliver at the best that they can. So we do have initiatives that we are going to focus on. And the first one is policy development. So to ensure that we create frameworks for innovative products. That's going to be our focus in this time. So we've had the traditional products of shares, bonds, collective investment schemes, but we need to now move on to other innovative products that are going to improve the liquidity of the capital markets. We are also going to focus on market attraction, so initiatives to draw investors and issuers to the market. Innovative finance, supporting private and public sector institutions in coming to the market to obtain affordable long-term finance. I've talked about partnerships. I think collaboration is going to be key for us in the development of the capital markets in this 5-year period. Regulatory reforms, updating the current regulations that we have, and as you all know, the business environment is changing very fast. So it's also imperative for us as a regulator to be dynamic and agile and be able to adapt to the changes that are happening within the marketplace. We are also going to ensure that we provide guidelines for emerging products, even as we wait to develop the regulations, to provide some basic guidelines for emerging products that are coming onto the market. And as you all are aware that we do now have a number of digital assets that are coming in, and it's important for us to provide some guidance in that area. Risk management, we'll focus on implementing the risk management, and we want to move our supervision philosophy to a risk-based framework, and that will also be a focus, so that we focus on those areas where there's high risk. And with the minimal resources that we have, it's usually better that you deploy them to those areas where you require them most. I talked about automation. We want to automate market supervision, so we are looking at deploying an automated monitoring system that will improve our surveillance of the activity within the capital markets. Compliance is a regulatory mandate for us, so we'll also focus on conducting audits, but also having seminars to support our licensees. International engagement. If we are to grow our capital markets, we need to have capital from outside this country as well. So international engagements is one of those things that we're also going to focus on in this period to ensure that we attract capital into the country. And then, of course, public education. We believe that an informed investor, an informed insurer is already protected. So we are focusing on public education and educating people about the various options. And then finally, the branding of capital markets. People will want to associate with a strong brand. So even in the as people are looking at Uganda, our brand as capital markets should be strong for them to get the confidence that if they came and participated in our market, they will be protected. So looking at the strategic objectives a little bit more in detail and what outcomes we think that we'll be able, we're working towards. So facilitation of the mobilization of long-term capital, and our outcome that we're looking at there is the market capitalization as compared to the GDP. Currently, we are sitting at 5%, and we are looking to doubling that in the next 5 years. Our assets under collective investment schemes are currently sitting at about, actually 4 trillion as we speak today, and we want to move that to 13.4 trillion in the 5 years. Green finance, we want to at least be able to raise at least 1.2 billion of green finance annually as we start. Our second objective is to increase stakeholder awareness and understanding of capital markets. And we want to increase the CIS accounts from the currently 131 to at least 252 to try and double that in the 5 years. Improve the awareness index to about 90% and the investor satisfaction index to about 78%. So what we are saying there, when you do a survey, at least 90% of the people surveyed should be aware of what capital markets are about. And our investors should also be satisfied as they participate in the capital markets. Our strategic objective 3 is to automate processes for operational efficiency and service excellence. And we want to automate 100% of our core processes. And the licensing approval process, we want to reduce it to 5 weeks. Currently, we are sitting at about 3 months, which is about, 12 weeks. So we want to reduce that. In terms of finally, strategic objective 4 is to strengthen the administrative, policy, legal, and institutional and coordination capacity of CMA. Our staffing levels are 76%. We want to grow that to 100%. Productivity, we want to achieve 80% productivity of our staff and to retain 95% of our staff. And just talking about retention, capital markets is a very unique industry. And as people come to capital markets, everybody is learning at that point. Very little of this is of the practical aspects are covered in school. So when you lose people who have worked with you for a while, it's a huge impact. It has a huge impact on the authority, and that's why we are striving to achieve at least 95% of that. We also would like to make sure that we remunerate our staff appropriately so that they don't go looking to other areas, other industries and other sectors for better pay. I think that's one of the things that we've suffered in the last period. So our flagship projects that we're going to focus on are activating the regulatory sandbox. The guidelines were approved by the board and we're now in the process of operationalizing them. And we believe that by the end of September, end of October, we should be ready to go with the regulatory sandbox. So for the intermediaries who are here, we are looking to you to bring these products to the sandbox. We are also looking at providing guidelines for green bonds and driving the investors to consider that alternative for raising capital, sukuk, but also to encourage some of the profitable state-owned enterprises to list, and also some of our municipals to come to the market for money and not depending on budget support. And thirdly, we will continue to ramp up our investor awareness campaigns. We've done that in this period, but we look to even do much more in terms of awareness for the investors, but also for the issuers who will be bringing products to the market. So looking at the financing framework, we have been allocated money under the PIAPs to support our activities, but looking at where we want to be, we will need a lot more financing. So we are looking at focusing on getting development partners and other persons who are interested in growing the capital markets to support us in covering some of these gaps. And I'll be glad to say that so far we have FSD Uganda that is supporting us on the automation of the market supervision system. So at least we're already starting on automating the market supervision courtesy of FSD Uganda. So in total, the total is not there, but for the period, we're going to require about 171 billion for all the activities that we want, and that is both for wage and non-wage funding. In terms of the institutional arrangements, so the authority is structured where we have a board, we have board committees, and then we have staff. Our current staffing is about 40 staff, but ideally we need about 72 staff, looking at the activity that has ramped up currently in the capital markets. We are now getting so many participants who want to get licensed to participate in the capital market. So with that growth, we've also projected that the staffing levels are going to go up. But of course, with automation as well, the automation is going to help a lot in creating those efficiencies. In terms of our communication and engagement, so we have a strategy where we have mapped out who our key stakeholders are and how we are going to engage with them. Of course, we are going to use a lot of media and digital platforms, and of course, recognizing the fact that the majority of the population of Ugandans are youth, and this is the forum where they usually interact. We are also going to increase the transparency through our regular reporting, and yes, to make sure that we, as we said, one of our values is accountability, and therefore be able to account to the public of what the things that we are doing, and that is, yeah, so those are some of the things that we're going to do. And of course, continue with our awareness campaign. We recognize that there are risks that might affect the delivery of this strategic plan. Key is funding gaps, and I mentioned we are going to try and leverage on partnerships and getting financing from those partnerships. We also know that there's technology disruption that could come in. Hence, we have a digital innovation sandbox where we think we'll try and keep abreast with any new technology that is coming, any new products as well, but also reinforcing, as we digitize, reinforcing our cyber security controls that we have. We also have the risk of market uptake, where we might develop products and there's no uptake from the market, and we are looking at educating our investors continuously of any new products that are coming into the market and encouraging them to invest. And then there's the issue of the global shocks. So for us, it's to ensure that there's regulatory agility to be able to adapt to whatever shocks that come into the market. Our key enablers are leadership, from the leadership commitment, from the board of directors, but also from the staff and management, as well as from our partners in our parent ministry, the Ministry of Finance. And policy initiatives, policies that will encourage investment flow, market stability, and capital formation. And this will work closely with government, the Ministry of Finance, the Attorney General, and all other policy departments. In terms of monitoring, we will do regular monitoring, and that will be in terms of weekly, monthly, and quarterly work plan updates. The work plans that we have have been drawn directly from from the initiatives in the strategic plan. But we'll also ensure that we review this strategic plan annually for relevance. Given the rate at which business environment changes, sometimes it's important that we have an annual review to make sure that we are still aligned with what's happening and the needs that are in the market. We'll also do a media review. After 2 years, we'll undergo an independent review to check progress and on the outcomes that we have committed to deliver. And then a final evaluation at the end at the end of the term. So what is our call to action? For us, our call to action is for government to provide us with enabling policy and incentives to spur growth in the capital markets. And for our intermediaries, we're looking to you to innovate, bring those innovative at the end of the term. So what is our call to action plan? So I'll conclude by saying that there's a saying that says planning without action is futile, and action without planning is fatal. So as capital markets, we're trying to have a balance where we are planning, but also getting ready to action what we are planning for. I thank you very much.
Another round of applause for our CEO for breaking down our strategic plan. I'm sure each one of us have at least had a copy. If you do not, please raise your hand. The team will be able to distribute the copy of the strategic plan. All right, Jacob and Michael, please help distribute to those hands so they are able to get that copy. I think we need to know who was listening and who was not. So how many strategic objectives did the CEO say? Anyone? 4. Yes, someone said it. Good. Please clap for him. I would like to read or just repeat after me the strategic objectives. So by the time we get out of this meeting, at least we know what we're here for, okay? So the first strategic objective, she said, facilitate mobilization of long-term capital. Repeat after me. You people, again, facilitate mobilization of long-term capital. If Melissa is repeating after me, who are you people? The second one, increase stakeholder awareness and understanding of capital markets. Great. And the third is automate processes for operational efficiency and service excellence. You people went to school? Repeat that one. Automate processes for operational efficiency and service excellence. Okay, the last one is strengthen. This one you don't have to repeat. Strengthen the administrative policy, legal, institutional, and coordination capacity of the Capital Markets Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that with these 4 strategic objectives, we'll be able to attain our goal, our vision, and our mission for the Capital Markets Authority, at least for the next 5 years. Again, a round of applause for our CEO. Please allow me to invite our CEO back to introduce our board chair to give his remarks. Yes, please clap.
So thank you. It's with great pleasure that I invite Mr. Saul Seremba, the board chair of Capital Markets Authority, to come and make his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Josephine and Lynn. Honorable Minister of State for Finance, General Duties, our dear friend, Honorable Henry Musasizi, the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, my colleagues, the members of the board, the heads of government agencies and institutions present, our development partners here today, as well as other stakeholders from the financial services sector, our friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Capital Markets Authority, I'm delighted to welcome you to this very important occasion when we launch our strategic plan for the next 5 years. Honorable Minister and our dear partners, as Josephine has highlighted, it's a very ambitious strategic plan, but we believe with the support of the different members and partners, we shall be able to achieve that plan. On that note, Honorable Minister, I want to thank you for being part of this occasion, but not just that. We always run to you for guidance here and there, and you're never tired of us. So we want to appreciate you. It would be unfair if we don't appreciate the people that help us to reach out to you. The different members from the Ministry of Finance. I've seen Commissioner Ogwapos here, and my colleague Joseph, and others who are here. Thank you so much for the support. We always come to them, but they don't get tired of us. Honorable Minister, I want to appreciate Josephine here and her team. They have done a tremendous job. I remember when we set out to start the strategic planning process, it was a mountain before us, but we've been able to come up with this strategic plan within a short period of time. So thank you so much, Josephine and the management team, for the tireless efforts to see that we have this plan out. Honorable Minister, I want to once again extend our deep appreciation to the ministry, as well as our development partners, the market participants, the stakeholders who have billion that is our plan for the next 5 years. But when you look at the funding that we get of about 9 billion shillings, you realize that if we are to go by that, we shall have a big funding gap, and therefore we may not be able to achieve the plan as has been presented by the CEO. Honorable Minister and our distinguished guests, this is therefore where I want to focus the remarks. With the limited budget of 9 billion, with that funding gap of about 125 billion shillings, there are very serious implications to us. That means staffing will be limited. And Josephine has highlighted that we are getting more people coming on board. So we need to have these people verified. We need to have to license them. We need more people to do this. We are having a problem of pawn schemes every now and then. We need to ensure that our supervisory role, supervisory arm, is well equipped. And without staff, we cannot achieve this. So we need to strengthen our staffing. The welfare has to be enhanced. I think I need to emphasize this, Honorable Minister. You realize that when we recruit people here, we do not have members that have gone through specific training in capital markets. That means the training has to be done here on the job. But also, we need to have that experience in order to build capacity. So if the welfare is not good and people are leaving, we are losing resources that are very critical in taking this capital market, the capital markets to the next level. When you look at the technology and innovation, we need to be in tandem with the current trends. And in order for us to make the process seamless for our members. So we need to have that, as well as logistical support. When you look at now the vans that we're using, the cars, etc., we are still lacking. We can't do everything that we want to do, Honorable Minister. So we believe that if the budget is increased, we shall be able to achieve all this. Honorable Minister, I am aware of the competing priorities facing the government. But I should say that a well-funded capital markets authority is not just a cost, but an investment itself. Why? Because we are going to mobilize long-term financing for infrastructure and development. We shall attract both domestic and foreign investment. We shall reduce pressure on public debt by unlocking the private capital that is still locked. And we believe with the funding, we shall also create jobs and wealth and inclusive growth for all Ugandans. Honorable Minister, our humble appeal is to increase our budget in addition to the partners that we work with, to support in fast-tracking the welfare of staff, provision of logistical and operational tools. We are so keen on the automation to ensure that processes are seamless, but above all, continued collaboration with our development partners to complement the government funding through technical assistance and catalytic financing. Our distinguished guests, the success of this plan, as highlighted by Josephine, will not depend on us as the Capital Markets Authority, but is incumbent upon all of us in order to have it implemented successfully. The government in providing policy and budgetary support, the intermediaries and issuers in bringing those innovative products to the market. The investors, we need to actively participate with confidence and trust. Our friends from the media, we are talking about low awareness. We need to work together to make sure that we push this agenda to the public as much as possible. We cannot do this without you. As a board, we are fully committed to providing oversight, guidance, and governance to ensure that every shilling that is allocated to CMA delivers maximum value for the Ugandan people. Ladies and gentlemen, the launch of this plan marks the beginning of a bold journey. The gap is still large, but with your support, we can bridge it. Let us remember that Uganda's dream of becoming a middle-income country and eventually an international finance center cannot be achieved without strong, well-funded, and vibrant capital markets. So on behalf of the board, I reaffirm our unwavering commitment to this journey, and I call upon all of you to work with us, because together we can build a capital market that mobilizes wealth, drives transformation, and improves the well-being of Ugandans. Before I conclude, Honorable Minister, I must apologize. I saw Professor Bajire here, but I saw him late. Professor Bajire was part of the consultants that worked with management to have this strategic plan developed. So thank you so much. So I thank you all for your attention, for God and my country. So, Honorable Minister, I take this moment to humbly welcome you and invite you to speak to your people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairman Seremba, and your members of the board who are here. You forgot to introduce them. They can stand up. Are they here? Please stand up for recognition. You want me to mention your names? That one is for him. Enyumu wanted me to give him special recognition. Enyumu is what in the ministry? He's the one who is spearheading us on the tenfold growth strategy. So that is very, very important for him. This is the man behind the tenfold growth strategy. I also have another commissioner here, Commissioner Ogwapus Moses. You can also stand up for recognition. They were talking about support from FSD. Is that our FSD or something else? I had a financial sector deepening Uganda. This one is the Commissioner of Financial Services Department, FSD. Other government officials here, the development partners, Josephine and your staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and privilege to address this esteemed gathering on behalf of Ugandan government and to launch the Capital Markets Authority's 5-year strategic plan covering financial year 2025-6 to 2029-30. Allow me begin by expressing my deep appreciation to the board, management, and staff of the Capital Markets Authority for their dedication, foresight, and effort towards development of this strategic plan that we are launching today. This plan is closely aligned with the Vision 2040, the 4th National Development Plan, the East African Community Vision 2050, the African Union Agenda 2063, and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. This event, therefore, marks an important milestone in Uganda's journey to build a strong, resilient, and inclusive financial system that can support our ambitious development agenda. As a country, we have set ourselves an ambitious but necessary target to expand the size of our economy from the current 55 billion US dollars. No, this is supposed to be 50 billion US dollars to 500 billion US dollars by 2040. The tenfold growth is moving us from 50 to 500 billion by 2040. This tenfold growth strategy, as clearly positioned in the 4th Development Plan, is central in Uganda's transformation journey. Achieving that development plan will require massive mobilization of long-term capital to finance key strategic interventions anchored on agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral development, and science, technology, and innovations aimed at creation of millions of jobs for our people. It is evident that public resources alone will not be sufficient. We must therefore harness the full potential of private capital, and this is where our capital markets become indispensable. Capital markets have a vital role in mobilizing patient capital to finance infrastructure, innovation, SMEs, and green growth initiatives that underpin Uganda's economic transformation. This plan we are launching today provides a clear and forward-looking blueprint for this task. It sets out a vision of being an innovative, efficient, and trusted regulator of a regionally competitive capital market. Its objectives including, here I can ask you to mention, including strengthening supervision and regulation, fostering market development, leveraging technology, and building strong institutional capacity, are exactly what Uganda needs to create a world-class capital market system. The robust and well-regulated capital markets are essential for attracting both domestic and international investment. Investors in the form of large institutions or small savers must be confident that their funds will be safe, efficiently managed, and transparently accounted for. I'm encouraged that this plan emphasizes investor protection and financial literacy as central pillars, because deepening participation in our markets require building trust and awareness among our people. At the same time, the strategic plan is not limited to regulation alone. It prioritizes innovation, which will enable us to bridge the financing gap in our economy. I'm glad to note the commitment to developing critical products such as Islamic finance instruments, infrastructure bonds, green bonds, and sustainability-linked securities. These are not just financial innovations, they are transformative tools that can mobilize capital for Uganda's flagship projects in agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral development, and science and technology, which are some of the enablers to our tenfold growth strategy. Opportunities for capital mobilization require the following. One, a stable macroeconomic environment, which we have, product diversity, liquid money markets, supportive legal and regulatory environment, efficiency in trading and settlement systems, pricing transparency and availability of robust ecosystem. All intermediaries such as market makers, brokers, transaction advisors, book runners, trustees, asset managers, credit rating agencies, investment banks, underwriters, regulators, etc., etc. The above opportunities should be explored due to the fact that Uganda's current savings to GDP ratio is about 20%, well below the 40% required to achieve the tenfold growth aspirations. Given our low level of savings and investment, mobilizing more domestic savings and channeling them into product investment will require combined effort of both the government, the private sector, and the households. It will also require that we embrace technology, especially fintech solutions, to reach the unbanked and the underbanked populations. By expanding access to capital markets through digital platforms, we can ensure that every Ugandan, irrespective of their location or income levels, has the opportunity to participate in and benefit our country's growth. This alignment of the strategic plan to the broad aspirations of all stakeholders ensure that Uganda's capital markets are not working in isolation, but as part of the integral agenda, which is inclusive, sustainable, and globally competitive for economic development. As government, we reaffirm our full commitment supporting the Capital Markets Authority in implementing this strategic plan. Thank you. We recognize that regulatory agencies require adequate resources, modern tools, and skilled personnel to deliver on their mandate. The ministry, together with the Capital Markets Authority and other partners, should ensure prioritization of this strategic plan within the broader framework of our national budget priorities. I'm happy that now Capital Markets is asking for money. It means now you have some work to do. There is a time when Capital Markets was not comfortable getting money. There's a time I asked them, but your budget is small. Can we do anything? They said, no. No, we are comfortable. But now I am happy that you have come up with activities which will require money. And I know, of course, when there is a plan, money is there. We can only give you money when you have what to do with it. I wish to emphasize, therefore, that the success implementation of this plan requires collective ownership and effort. The private sector must innovate and bring new products to the market. Market intermediaries must ensure efficiency and transparency. Investors must be bold enough to take advantage of the opportunities capital markets provide. Our development partners must continue to offer technical and financial support, and the media must help us tell the story and demystify capital markets for our people. Distinguished friends and participants, ladies and gentlemen, this launch is therefore not the end of the process, but the beginning of the new chapter. The real work starts now in implementing the strategies that we have outlined, in holding ourselves accountable, and in working together to deliver tangible results. If we succeed, Uganda's capital markets will play a central role in financing our industrialization, creating jobs, promoting financial inclusion, and positioning our country as a regional financial hub. Allow me once again congratulate the board led by Mr. Saul Seremba, the management and the staff of the authority led by Josephine Osia, together with our stakeholders on the launch of this forward-looking strategic plan. Let us now commit ourselves to walking the talk, to mobilizing the resources and innovate as required to ensuring that capital markets become a true engine of transformation for Uganda. In conclusion, today's launch is not just the unveiling of the document, but the beginning of the new phase in financial sector development. Today's launch is not just unveiling the document, but the beginning of the new phase. And you have invited me to witness, to be there when the new phase is beginning. Some of us are associated with progress, and we always want to commit to something which will work. I therefore want to believe that I am not only going to unveil. I have come to witness the beginning of the new phase at Capital Markets Authority. With these remarks, I officially launch. Do I do this here or there? With these remarks, I officially launch the Capital Markets Authority Strategic Plan 2025-2026 to 2029-2030. I thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. We shall now be having the unveiling, also to speak the signing of our new strategic plan of the Capital Markets Authority. Let's clap as this significant moment is happening. The Honorable Minister saying that this document is now operational and we shall be able to start implementation. Thank you very much. Let's have other members. The board chair now signing. Let's clap for him as he signs, eh? It's even the handwriting is that of a board chair. Yes, CEO. Let's clap for our CEO, Mrs. Josephine Okuyosia, as she signs, operationalizing our document. Who also is in charge of all our money. Ladies and gentlemen, please clap. Do not tire. Yes. The launch of the CMA 5-year strategic plan 2025-2026 to 2029-2030. Representative from the Bank of Uganda. This is the governor signing. Don't mind that she's a lady, just clap. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially unveiled and signed a new strategic plan. Let's be upstanding and recognize this very important milestone. Next on our agenda is a photo moment, so please allow me invite you all to stand against the screen so we can have a photo moment. The media, please be ready. Right after this, we'll be having media interviews. IT, let's have the screen a bit blank with just the launch of the 5-year strategic plan artwork. We can remove the video part. Yes. IT team, we're ready? We can have seats. Ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I kept you standing. We're witnessing a very important milestone. Can we have all smiles? Another one with all smiles, so that we're happy we're launching this document. Yes, thank you very much. I now know those who don't smile. Can we have members of the heads of state? I see Goreti Masade is in our midst. Heads of organizations, private and government sector, not head of states. I love my job. Heads of private and government organizations, please join us for a photo moment. Please join us if you're representing your head of organization. CEO of Sanlam, we're seeing you. Please join the picture. Are you not a head of an organization? Thank you all for joining us today. We really do not take this for granted. Now, can I have CMS staff coming to join in this picture? CMS staff and management and staff. Please come join in this picture moment. Very instrumental in implementing this strategic plan, making it a success. Do not be lied to, we are only 40. Like the CEO said, we need an increment to 70. These are the heads and the brains behind this strategic plan. Let's have some chairs so that our VIPs can sit. Honorable Minister, please take a seat, board chair, CEO, heads of representatives. Yes. Camera crew, are we good? Okay, let's squeeze in. Those on the sides, please come join in the picture.
Your love, I'm hoping you see me. Come serve it up, loving when you stir it up. That body belong on TV. Oh, this feeling I can't hide. You're feeling up my mind, and I just